Hello, English language learners from around the world. This week, I would like us to complete our series on word stress by going over suffixes. So, as some of you may already know, suffixes are a small group of letters that we add to the end of a word. We do this to change the word class. So sometimes we change a base word from a verb to a noun by adding the suffix. Okay, and sometimes when we do that, we also change the meaning. So for example, let's take the word helpless. Okay, so many of you can already identify the suffix is less. The base word is help. So help is a verb, and when we say helpless, that's an adjective. Also, when we add the less at the end, it means without. Okay, so we have pretty much made help opposite by saying this person is helpless. They need help. Okay, so this is kind of a shortcut that we do in English to create these words with suffixes so that we don't have to use so many different vocabulary words. We say helpless, careless, mindless. Okay? So luckily there are some categories of suffixes. I don't want to go over a grammar lesson today. What I want to do is focus on the word stress. So I'll start with the easiest. So as some of you remember when we studied prefixes, this category of suffixes does not change the stress of the base word. Okay, so let me give you some examples. Let me look at my cheat sheet. So how about if we take the suffix ment, okay? And if we take, for example, the root word develop, that's a verb. We add the ment suffix and we say development, development. So I didn't change the original stress of develop, develop. So as you can hear, develop, develop. I stress the second syllable, and when I say development, same thing. Stress the second syllable, development. Okay, let's go to the other category. Now the other category is actually the opposite. So when we use these suffixes, we change. So let's use a good example. How about the suffix ee? So for example, let's take the verb employ. Okay, what if I add the suffix ee and I say employee? Employee. See, and you heard that I put the stress on the last syllable on the suffix. Okay, let me do one more example. How about if I take the suffix ese? Okay, so if I say the word Chinese, Chinese, you can see again, like employee, I'm stressing the suffix. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's go to another category. These are the suffixes where they force you to stress the syllable right before the suffix. Okay, so it sounds a little complicated, but once your ear gets used to this pattern, you'll be able to do this naturally. So let's take, for example, the suffix ION, okay? And how about the word music? Okay, so that's a noun. And if I add, and I'm sorry, it's not going to be ION, it's IAN, okay, but same rule. If I say musician, musician, I've shifted that stress. So I went from music, stress on the first syllable, to musician, stress on the second syllable. Okay. Let me do one more example. How about if I take the suffix ITY? Okay, so let me take the word possible. Possible. So you can hear the stress is on the first syllable. It's a noun. Possible. Okay. Sorry, that's an adjective, forgive me. Okay, now if I add the ITY, we say, we're gonna stress the syllable right before the ITY, we're gonna say possibility. Possibility. That's a noun. So with these suffixes, we're changing the word class, and we're also sometimes changing meaning. Let me do one last example. How about, let's take the suffix LES. LESS actually. Okay, luckily this is a suffix that does not change stress. So if we take, for example, what's a good one? Care. Care, okay? And if I add the LESS suffix, we say careless. Careless. Okay, and as you know, the difference between care and careless is pretty much opposite in meaning. Okay, so in that case, not only are we changing the word class, we're also changing meaning. So just wanted to give you guys some guidelines. This can sound very complicated, but the more you practice, the more it will sound natural.